Okay. Let's look at this. This is recalling what we've already seen about linear equations. Today we're talking about linear word problems. Now, I've been really big about doing all of our applications sprinkled into what we've been doing. But when it comes to linear equations, I like to keep the bigger word problems towards the end so I can spend more time on it. So I gave us 2 days to work on this. So we will see this today and tomorrow. That way we're not rushing, we're taking our time, and you have a great reference to come back to, okay? So we know slope-intercept form is written how? Thank you. If you didn't know, can we recall it from the top of the paper? Yep, it's right there. That's slope-intercept form. So we know that the y is what 3 other words? Range. What does that say right there? Output and dependent, right? So y is known as the range, output, and the dependent variable, okay? What about m?
Slope, rate of change, and rise of.
These all have their own context. Do you notice how these kind of go together and how they're leveled and how they're layered? That's how they want you to see it. So range goes with slope, goes with domain, goes with y-intercept. That tells you the context in which you're going to use it, okay? So, what goes with x? Y'all help Brandon out. He ain't the only one that can read. Y'all can read. What's up there? Then? Independent? How y'all gonna be one day? Y'all don't want to say independent? Thank you. What about B? Initial value and? What's that number? And then the letter? That's telling you how to write it. Does that make sense? So, it's known as the y-intercept, the initial value, and 0b. Any questions? So, rate words. What are the main 3 that we use?
Per, each, every.
Absolutely. When we write our rate of change, it's y over x. So y per x. Does that make sense? Or y for each x. Y for every x. Does that make sense? We keep the y first so we know what goes on top. Any questions? So we jumping straight in because, again, these are things we've already talked about. It's things you've seen. Please reference our notes from yesterday and the day before while we ask these questions so we can do what? Recall, because that's the biggest thing that we're learning. So example 1A says you are visiting New York and you have to find a taxi to travel around the city. The taxi driver is going to charge you a flat fee of $4 plus an additional 60 cents per mile. What variable goes with independent? X. And instead of writing it up there, we can write it right there. What variable goes with dependent? Y. What 2 things are being compared? Not quite.
Oh, charge.
It's like you're giving me, what'd you say? Cost in units. What's units for cost? Dollars. Because it's money, yes? And what is that being compared to? Miles. There we go. So, which one is independent? The question we're trying to answer is which one is affecting which? Miles. Because the more miles that taxi drives, is that going to cost you more money? Yes. So that is the independent. Great job. So, what's left as the dependent? Cost. Great job. You see how this is recalling our information from the last 2 days? Do you see how they stack on top of each other? Everybody still with me? What is the rate of change? Meaning the slope in what? In words. So, did they give me my rate of change? What did they say my rate of change was? 60 cents per mile. So all we have to do is rewrite exactly what it said. Did they give me the initial value, meaning the y-intercept in what? How am I writing my y-intercept? In words. Did they give me my initial value? $4, because that is the flat fee. It says it right there. Flat fee of $4. I'm telling you, flat fee means it's never going to change. That means that's how much it costs for you to step foot in that taxi. Okay? And then for any additional mile, you're going to pay 60 cents. Make sense? No pun intended. So, how would I write this as a linear equation? Do I have a slope? Do I have a y-intercept? So what should my equation start with? Y. What goes next? What is my m? That 0.60, because it's 60 cents. What comes after that? Then plus, because that's my b, my initial value. So if you're someone that needs to see the variables like yesterday, remember rate of change is m, initial value is b. That's recalling from yesterday. Any questions? Is everybody good? Do you see how this relates to Monday and Tuesday's notes? So now, these two bottom questions are how we're going to start adding things in, okay? So it says, how much will it cost to travel 15 miles? How much will it cost to travel 15 miles? What information did they give me? In this question alone. 15 miles. Which variable is that? X. So tell me X equals what? X equals 15. You see how we're overcomplicating? Did I move from this question yet? Take it piece by piece. Didn't we just evaluate for bell work? So what do I need to do with this X? What's that S word? Oh, the S word. Substitute. What am I plugging this 15 in for? Nope. Because I'm learning how to and thank you. We're reading and recalling. Did I write a Y anywhere here? Did I even touch that 60 cents yet? I said 15 is what variable? So it goes in the place of what variable? Thank you. So now we pulled this equation, correct? So what's being written down first? Y equals what? 0.60, because we are recalling. What did we just say goes in the place of X? So, parentheses 15. Behind that. Thank you. Now, don't we just grab this? Getting it typed in. We don't type in Y equals, we type in the back end. So type in that part. Remember, if your teacher can do it, so can you. The paper ain't going nowhere. I need you typing. Give people time, I'll tell you when. Your job is to participate and prove. The participation part, y'all are doing great at. The proving part, we're still working on. That means typing in. Stephon, don't look at me like that. You don't realize I'm that one, okay? Most teachers let it slide, I won't. Exactly. Talk to me nicely. What'd y'all get?
13.
So, from there we got 13. Everybody get 13? From here, everybody still good? How would I write this in the actual unit? Because what question was I trying to answer? So how would I write this as it writes in the unit for cost? $13. That's the units. Everybody good? Does this make sense? Everybody still with me? Did I lose anybody? Let's look at G. How far can you travel for $52? Let me read that again. How far can you travel for $52? What did they give you? $4. So what did they actually give you? Which variable does that go with? So what did they tell me y is equal to? So when I'm substituting in, where should that 52 go in the place of? Thank you. So how would I rewrite this? What goes first? Which is? Because we just said y is equal to what? So wherever we see a y, we put a. Thank you. What comes after that? Them. No. What are we missing? Because what question are we trying to answer? How far? So that means we're solving for x. So you can't neglect it. The only thing that should change is y in this case. So I'm not simplifying, I am solving. So this is a two-step equation. What needs to happen first? -4. What's being typed in? Let's do that. What'd y'all get?
48.
So we have 48. What comes down behind it? Absolutely. What do I do from there? What do I need to do? I'm sorry. Divide by what? 0.60. Because that's what's on the side with x. Don't forget your steps now. What's being typed in? Typing that in. Remember, if your teacher can do it, so can you. And I'm still able to multitask, teaching you and making sure you're being held accountable. Your one job is to write and type, retain and recall. Everybody get it typed in? What'd y'all get? So x equals what? But I need to write that with units, yes? What question am I trying to answer? So what is my unit for the distance? So how would I write this? Absolutely. I'm a pause. Y'all look at this problem. Is there anything that I can explain differently if you're unsure about this? Is there anything that is making you have pause or making you curious or concerned? Look at it for me. Really look at it. Because this is your expectation. You're going to have to pair what we did the last 2 days on top of what I'm showing you again today. You know the expectation. Tell me how I can help you. Is everybody okay? Can we move on to the next example? Okay. Somebody read example 1B for me.
Tasha is making a pizza for her family. They want a pepperoni and sausage pieces. She puts 4 pepperoni slices, keep her 5 sausage pieces, S on the pizza.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. What variable goes with independent? X. But notice how I'm writing it right here instead. That's because, did they give me 2 separate variables in my actual problem? What variables did they give me in the problem? P and S. We're going to come back to those in a second. What variable goes with dependent? Y. What two things are being compared? Pepperoni and sausage, right? So, which one is our independent in this case? Sausage. Because you have to put as many pepperoni per sausage. So the direction tells me y over x. So what variable goes with sausage? S, and that's our sausage pieces. Great job. And what variable goes with our y? P, and that's for pepperoni. Any questions there? Did they give me the rate of change inside of the actual question, or the actual scenario? Where is it? So, for what? Make sense? So can I just rewrite that down here? Yep. So for pepperoni, I'm going to hyphenate mine because that's a lot of letters there. Per 5 sausage pieces. What variable goes with rate of change? Thank you. Great recall there, Brandon. Did they give me an initial value? Don't overthink this one. But is this, it's y, yes? It's the y-intercept. What is our y values for this scenario? Pepperoni. What are we making? Pizza. How does your pizza typically start out? Is there any toppings? So, did they have to tell you what the initial value was, or should you already know based on common sense? So, how many pepperonis started off on the pizza? 0, because you have to put them on yourself. Y'all just told me this actual pizza starts with sauce and cheese, right? Is there any other toppings on there yet? So every topping starts at what number? 0, because you have to put them on there. So we just said that B goes with that. The y-intercept in words is 0 pepperonis. Do I have an M? Do I have a B? So, how do I write my linear equation? What does it start with? Remember, we have different variables, right? So take your time looking at the top. You said it starts with y, but what goes in the place of y in this case? P. So P what? Equals, what comes next? What's your M? Over 5. Thank you. Where per is, that's where the division bar goes. Didn't we just say that? Recall, pause, go back to the top of your paper. Isn't that where the division bar is? So y over x. Y over x. Do y'all see that? Just because we didn't write something right here, that 1 is understood in front of miles. So that's actually 0.06, well, 0.60 over 1. I just don't have to write it. Does that make sense? So per is where the division sign goes. What goes after this 4 over 5? S, because that goes in the place of x. Then plus. Do I have to put plus 0? No. Stays right there. I'll put this, and then I'll rewrite it the way it's supposed to be so you know that they're actually the same. but this is the one that's preferred. Because that's the one you will see on tests, quizzes, state tests. They never put the +0. Any questions on the top 5? Okay. How many slices of pepperoni will be on the pizza if there are 10 sausage pieces? Looking at the question alone, what information did they give me? No, baby. Looking at the question alone, what did it tell you?
10 sausage pieces.
Thank you. I ain't pulling nothing extra. I gotta see what's given. Hey, Davis. Put it on again today, Davis. So what did they tell me here? Which variable? S, which is independent or dependent? Independent. So that's my X variable, correct? So they told me S equals what? 10. So how would I rewrite my equation now that I know what S is? P equals 4 over 5. Absolutely. And we got to type this in, correct? Grabbing your calculator. I repeat it over and over again, but I keep repeating it so you know that it's true. If your teacher can do it, so can you. Thank you. You can do it. I'm giving people time. I knew that you was about to say it. That's why I looked up and looked right in your direction. That's great that you're typing it in quicker because this wasn't us at the beginning of the semester, right? You was a bit oppositional to me at the beginning of the semester. What'd y'all get? Everybody get 8? So P equals what? So, not P. Yeah, P equals 8. Sorry, I was like, no S here. But what is the unit that this is needing to be written in? 8. What question are you trying to answer? So what would be the unit on this? So 8 what? Great job. Any questions? It says how many sausage is on the pizza if there are 20 pepperonis? Look at the question itself and identify what information they gave. So what was given? Thank you. So what variable did they tell me? P equals what? Absolutely. Great job. Sometimes y'all just need a little push and that's okay. So how do I rewrite this? 20, because we just said P is what, Zah? Oh, wait, make sure you're leaning up, baby. I was nervous. I didn't know what was happening. It says P equals what, Zah? So what needs to go into place of P? Do you see it? Make sense? You're okay. We're still learning. What goes after it? Equals. There we go. So now I need to solve for S. I need to solve for S. So how would I get rid of 4 over 5? In one step. Multiply by y'all are so close and y'all keep skipping right over it. I agree with multiplication, but by what? What did you say, Gavin? What?
He said 1.
Not quite.
1.
You multiply, but by what? This is one of the biggest recalls y'all have to do. You multiply by the goal is to get the fraction to become 1, but how do you do that?
Oh.
Not divide. I agree with multiply. But you multiply by something in particular.
1.
No. You multiply by, not quite. Try to see if you can find this in your notes. Recall is a big thing for us. At all. At all. We had a whole section worth of fraction-based notes. Not only in Unit 2, but also inside of Unit 3 and at the beginning of Unit 4, because we had to recall this multiple times. So see what you can find. I told you I put 2 days off for this because it's going to be a lot of recalling. You thought I was playing. Now you know I'm not. Get to it. Find it. Davis, I'll be able to get these to you quicker. Oh my goodness. Just a second, baby. I want to give you just a second. I'm so sorry. My train of thought is somewhere else. I'll be able to get you to these quicker because they're going to be doing reviews all next week. So your copies for this unit should be in your box by Friday. Oh yeah, I wanted to give you that update. That little praise. Y'all could easily look at 4.7. I found that very quick. Because there was some fractions in there. I told you it was at the beginning of Unit 4. Yep. We've been looking at 4.7 a whole lot this week. But what were you saying, Kylan? I'm sorry. We got rid of some fractions in there. But how did I get rid of those fractions? No, baby. You're just throwing a word at me. Throwing words works in English, but not really in math. We have to be intentional here. I saw an example of it on the back of 4.7. You got to look at ones that are similar, but not exactly the same. How did I get rid of those? Stevan, lean up, wake up, pull your arms out your jacket. What's crazy is this is recorded. What'd you say? Multiply. I'm hearing multiply, but what was that last part? Not by y. You multiply by something, but you have to be intentional. Nope. What? If you're solving for a variable, why would you multiply by that variable? Think logically. You ain't got to say the actual vocabulary word for this. You just got to tell me what to multiply by. I just told you look at 4.7. Y'all had that one on hand quickly. What did you just say? It's absolutely that. Yeah. Colin, can you say it for me again? You have to flip it. Thank you so much. And multiply. Wow. What a concept. So, what am I multiplying by? Yeah, which is what? Thank you so much. That's called the reciprocal. Oh, a word I've been using since Unit 1. You roll back the footage. I've been saying this word every unit, at least twice. We even wrote it down at the beginning of Unit 3. So what's being typed in? Thank you. Type that in, please. Give people time. I didn't look up this time, but I needed to say that. You okay? Savon, you better be typing it in. What'd y'all get? 25. These cross out. Leaving what on this side? Equals S. So how do I write this? Using the unit for this question. 25 sausage pieces. Thank you, ma'am. I heard you over there. Any questions on this actual example? Is everybody okay? Everybody good? You said no?
Yeah.
I was like, what's wrong with you? Look at example 2A. Please and thank you. Somebody read that for me, please. Don't matter who. Somebody read it for me. Come on now. Somebody. You got eyes. Or Jordan. He's been reading them nonstop. Come on, somebody. Stevan, read it. That'll wake you up. Come on. Beautiful. Thank you so much. What variable goes with independent? Can I write it in the blank?
No.
Did they give me any other variables?
No.
So can I put it in the blank?
Yeah.
I sure can. What variable goes with dependent? And I can write it in the blank. What two things are being compared?
Time.
Well,
Pages and hours.
thank you. Pages left and hours. Which one is independent? So which one's affecting the other one? Hours. Because the more hours you sit, are you going to read more pages? Yes, because that's what the time is for. So what goes with dependent? Pages left. This kind of example goes with the first three examples we did on 4.13. So have 4.13 where you can see it, please and thank you. It's going to help you understand how to find the rate of change. Examples A, B, and C. On the first page, absolutely. To find my rate of change, what do I need to do? What do I need to do to find my rate of change? Create points. You see how easy that is? Beautiful. The recall is amazing today, Brandon. 10 out of 10. What's the first point? 5 and 748. Thank you, Denver. What's the second point? 11 and 610. Absolutely. Because you can't label what you do not have. So how do I begin labeling this? What goes on 5? On 748? On 11? And on 610? What do I do from here? Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
Over 11 minus 5.
Absolutely. What's being typed in?
610 minus 748.
Remember, if I can do it, so can you. Type it in. What'd y'all get? Bless you. I'm sorry, he sneezed right when I asked. My bad. Bless you, sir. What did y'all get? Absolutely. Over. What's being typed in next? Absolutely. Bless you, sir. What'd y'all get? Should I type this in to see if it simplifies? Let's do that. Yes, sir. Did everybody get to type it in? What'd you get, Zah? Any questions there? So, looking at this, I need to write this in words. So, I need to know not only my top, but also the bottom of my fraction, correct? So, what did you say?
1.
It's 1. What were you saying, Jordan? I'm sorry.
I typed the same thing and I got -31.
Baby, it can't be the same thing. Bring me that calculator. Where did negative 186 come from? It's negative 138. You're okay. This is why we ask these questions. But you need to look and see. That's why you see my calculator on the board. That way you can double check because I'm typing with you. But it's okay. You said the right thing. So, what's at the top? What variable is at the top? What variable? I heard someone say it. Y, which is what? Pages left. So this is talking about pages, period, right? What's at the bottom? X, which is what? So, how can I relate this in words? What's happening? What action are you doing? You're reading. Reading what? Reading what? Look at the numbers. You're reading what? Reading what? 23 pages every hour, or per hour, or each hour. Do you see how all of those mean the same thing? But you have to know how to understand the slope. If you can't extrapolate that information, that's what I'm not teaching you. Does that make sense? That means you're missing something. So, in words, we just said, what's happening? So we read 23 pages per hour, each hour, every hour. I put per. If you put each, you're fine. If you put every, you're fine. I just wrote per. Any questions there? Everybody good? Now, the initial value over here. This is recalling what we did right before Thanksgiving break. You remember we found equations when we had 2 points? We had equations when we had a point and a slope. Do I have a slope? Do I have a point? So can I find my equation? Yes. So what is slope-intercept form in general? Thank you so much. Because that's what we're going to use. Can I just use my very first point, that 5 and 748? Yes, no?
Yes.
Perfect. And what did I just say my M was? There we go. I can leave the over 1 out because I don't need to understand where that's coming from for this question. If you put it over 1, it ain't going to do nothing to you. It's not, because 1 ain't going to change it. So, from here, do I have an X? What is it? 5. Do I have a Y? What is it? So, how would I rewrite this equation given what I have?
Would it be
48 equals negative 23 plus 5.
Not plus.
Or,
Times 5. It's in parentheses. Because M and X are holding hands, they're multiplying, okay? So, what comes behind that? Because ain't I looking for B? So, from there, I am simplifying the right side, and then I'm solving for B. Does that make sense? So, what's being typed in? Type it in. What'd y'all get? Thank you, negative 115. Plus B comes down. How do I get B on the side by itself? Thank you, plus 115. So what's being typed in?
748 plus 415.
Absolutely. Make sure you type it in. Make sure you type it in. Stevan, make sure you type it in, child. Nah, type it in. What'd y'all get?
863.
So how do I write that? In words. There we go. Any questions there? Do I have an M? Do I have a B? So how do I write this equation?
Negative 20.
Uh-huh. What comes after that? X. Then? What goes behind that? I'm sorry. Plus.
Plus 863.
What y'all scared of? You're just recalling information. That's it. Because aren't the two pieces we need right there in front of us? If you're doing it A, B, C, D, that means E has to come from that. E has to come from what comes before it. Don't overcomplicate this. It's organized this way for a reason. Any questions? F says how many pages are left after 20 hours? How many pages are left after 20 hours? Remember, you're not looking anywhere else but the question right now. What information was given?
20 hours.
So what variable is that? X. So X is equal to what? So how would I rewrite my equation with that information?
Y negative 20 plus 863.
Absolutely. Are we simplifying or solving here? We're simplifying because we're not having to move anything away from a variable. The variable's already on the side by itself. I just wanted to see if you still had it today. It's okay. Now you know what I could ask in the future. Yes? So, am I typing that in? Am I typing that in?
No, because it starts.
How is it already simplified, child? Don't you have to type that in? That's my way of saying why aren't y'all typing it in already? Because didn't we just do that? Type it in. What y'all waiting on? Who y'all waiting on? Sir? What do you need? Yes. How do you call my name mid-lesson and I'm waiting on you to say something? What question did I pose? I said you should be typing this in. That's a statement. Who? You ain't never waiting on me. Because don't you got fingers? Don't you got eyes? I just swore all y'all had a brain up there between them foreheads you got. So you tell me you can't type this in without me typing it in? It's crazy.
Well, I think I got the right answer.
Lord Jesus. Let's hope he got the right answer. Did everybody type it in? What'd y'all get? Thank you. I need that in units, please.
403 pages.
Thank you. That's great. Because they said how many pages. So which means your answer had to have the unit of pages. Any questions? Look at G. How long will it take to finish the book? So, how long will it take to finish the book? What information did they give you? Finish what?
The book.
So, that means how many pages do you have left? How many do you have left if you finish reading?
None.
0. Because what other pages you got? None. So, they're telling me what variable is 0?
Why?
Because it said finish the book. That means pages. Y equals 0. So how would I rewrite this equation? Don't overthink it.
0, negative 23, x
Uh-huh.
plus 863.
Absolutely. That's a 2-step equation. What's the first step?
Minus 863.
On both sides, absolutely. So what's being typed in? Thank you. Type that in, please. What'd y'all get?
Negative 863 equals
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. What do I do from here?
divide both sides by negative 23.
Absolutely. Just because you can't see my calculator on camera doesn't mean I'm still not typing it. If I can type it, so can you. If there happens to be a decimal, can you round it to 2 decimal places, please? To the hundredths place. Jordan, type it in, baby. You got to stay with us. Do you want to keep making progress? Then you got to keep working. It gets long, but you got to work through it. I know how it is. What'd y'all get? One more time? Uh-huh. I did not get that. Did y'all type in negative 863 divided by negative 20? Sir, do you hear me talking? That don't mean get louder than me. That's crazy. Everyone type in negative 863 divided by negative 23. Just a second, Stevan. Is there something wrong with your calculator?
No, I got it.
Okay, you got it. Pause just a second. I'm trying to make sure they on the same page. Because I'm hearing a number I should not be hearing. Because it says 2 decimal places. That means that whole number do not change. You're okay. Give me just a second. I'm making sure they on the same page. I'll let Stevan say it, and I'll let you say if you got the same thing. David's back there giving a review on how to round. Stevan, you got it?
That boy said no. He said yeah.
Stevan, you don't got it? Uh-oh.
I think Bob wrong now. I'm saying.
Huh? Well, tell me what you got. Divided by negative 23, I don't need a fraction, I need a decimal. I just said a decimal. What did you get, Brandon?
I got 37.52.
You're absolutely correct.
I got that.
Because that's what I got. You're talking about time. Isn't time in minutes and seconds? Isn't time in hours, minutes, and seconds? Have you ever seen a stopwatch? Those are decimals because you have seconds, milliseconds, and it keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So you have to be able to type this stuff in and know what you're trying to answer. Because what did it say? How long? That means time in. So write down 37.52. And those who do not know how to round, let me give a quick review. I didn't know I was back to teaching 3rd and 4th grade. Thought I was an algebra teacher. If you are rounding to 2 decimal places, this is called the hundredths place. 2 is in the hundredths place, so I have to look at the thousandths place behind it. If this is less than 5, this stays the same. If this is 5 or greater, meaning 5 to 9, this will have to round up. Any questions? So that's tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths, and it keeps going. Everybody good? So how would I write this using the units for time? No.
37 hours.
Oh, hours.
Because it's 0.52 of an hour, so which means it's at least half that hour. So approximately 37 and a half hours, if you were to say it out loud. Books are usually that long to read when they're longer page books. Because you started with 863 pages. Guys, that's a long book.
I will read that book.
Most of y'all's books at most hit about 200 pages at most, but y'all barely read the entire book because your teacher summarizes it. Most of your books that you have in class are summaries. If you don't know that, just look at the Canterbury Tales. I did that in high school, and I didn't realize that is a long book. We read maybe 4 parts of that book, and it still took 2 months to get through. And that was in an AP English course. Let that sink in. Beowulf took us a whole unit. I wasn't prepared for that. We read that whole book. So, y'all know what to do. Please study and work on your other practice problems. 4.13 should be turned in well before we're done with this. If it's not, you're slacking. You're lazy. Get it together, okay? You can't be better if you don't do better. That's all I have to say about it. And if it hurts your feelings, I'm sorry. But someone has to tell you. Love you. Bye.